I want to thank you and Madam Chair and the ranking member for hosting today's hearing and including my bill, the TEL Act. This legislation will disclose whether China and their state-owned entities are storing, accessing, and transferring the personal data of American citizens without being transparent about it. TikTok, one of the most popular social media platforms for our children, is a subsidiary of Beijing-based ByteDance. While I have notable concerns about American companies doing business in China and accommodations they make to the People's Republic of China, it is astonishing to me that there is any doubt over the level of access and control the Chinese Communist Party has over this conglomerate and similar entities. Mr. Lane, it's great to see you again. Thanks for being here. As this committee thinks about the future of internet and holding big tech accountable, are you concerned about the data being collected by TikTok and companies with similar relationships in China and what that might mean for national security for our country?
I am concerned about that. I think we should all be concerned about that.
Thank you. What other provisions on security vulnerabilities do you think we should be incorporated in this legislation to protect our economic and national security interests?
Well, I think the legislation starts in the right place. You know, as parents, I like to say it's a teachable moment that people will know where their information is being housed and where the companies are based. And hopefully they will take their self-correction action that is necessary. But I also worry about those websites and other apps that are not going to disclose, and how do we find those? You know, as we know, Russia and Iran and China, you know, and the surrogates are well-known cyber warriors. And there's going to be a lot of mischief underneath the ones that we see. And my concern is that, you know, we have this dark who is issue where we could find out. So combining your information, are they where they say they are and headquartered where they say they are, we could find information like that out through an open accessible who is. That's what forensics does. But unfortunately, you know, the NTIA and its bureaucrats have for the past 5 years stonewalled Congress taking action in this space. Congressman Latta was talking about the letters he sent for the Homeland Security, the FDA, and others. And you have companies like VeriSign and GoDaddy and Namecheap, you know, they'll be up on the Hill talking to you guys about how we don't need to upset the multi-stakeholder process of ICANN. That process is now going on 5 years. And if in 5 years of darkness, and if they did develop something tomorrow, it would take 3 more years to implement. Congress can act on this now. Congress has the opportunity to fix a cybersecurity problem at no cost to the US taxpayer. It's in our hands. And you can ask any cybersecurity expert. I have reports, I have letters from the top people talking about this. So adding your legislation on where they are and where the data is being stored on top of a strong who is legislation to fix this GDPR problem. It's not a US problem, it's a foreign government. And I'll end on this. Imagine if this law that shut down the who is that's threatening our national security was a Chinese law or an Iranian law. Would we still stand here as a US Congress and say we shouldn't all set the multi-stakeholder process to address these laws? The answer would be no. And I think it's time for the US Congress to step up and try to fix this problem before more people get hurt.
You're exactly right. You know, big tech is not just Facebook or Twitter. It includes companies like Microsoft and Apple and Google, each of which has a significant presence in China. My time's going to expire. I had another question, but I just want to make this point because I thought about this while you were speaking. I don't know that we truly care about all that's being collected from our children through platforms like TikTok and others. And I raise that awareness because for the past 2 Congresses, I have tried to get this committee and this Congress, find one Democrat to co-sponsor a piece of legislation that would stop the importation of childlike sex dolls, dolls that are used by pedophiles, images, likenesses that are stolen from social media platforms, the doll created, crafted to look like the child of one of our constituents, so that someone can play out sex fantasies with a childlike sex toy, a doll. Very human-like, very robotic, where even the voice is taken from the child's TikTok and digitally put into that child-like sex toy so that it can actually talk like that child to the pervert that is enjoying themselves with it. Madam Chair, find me a Democrat that'll co-sponsor that, and let's get that over, and let's stop the importation of childlike sex dolls. When I talk to your colleagues, oh yeah, I'll show them pictures of the dolls. I'll be glad to share them with you. Oh my God, we need to do something about that, and nothing is done. And so we continue to import sex dolls into this country that look like the children of people in our communities, sound like the children of people in our communities, and it's just wrong. With that, I yield back.